We start off with news in New York City. New York City police officers will no longer patrol subway stations in pairs. The switch to solo patrols comes at a heightened anxiety in the city's vast public transit system. With nearly 500 stations and 250 miles of train to monitor, New York City Mayor Eric Adams was quoted as saying, quote, by going back to single patrol, we're now doubling the size, and you're going to see the omnipresence and the confidence that riders are going to see based on that. It allows us to cover more ground, end quote. The police union immediately criticized the move after the announcement by the mayor, saying the PBA, I should say, said the change would embolden people to fight cops and resist arrest because there wouldn't be someone immediately to back up officers. In other news, June is Gun Violence Awareness Month. In recognition of this, the Yankee organization hosted a very special event. It was a run, walk, roll. Our Bronx reporter Arlie Makoko has the details.
In recognition of June is Gun Violence Awareness Month, District Attorney Darcel Clark hosted this 5K run, walk, roll event here at 161st Street and the Grand Concourse, where she was joined by survivors from the Bronx, including the family of Anjali Yambo, who was caught in a crossfire of bullets and died April 8th. And Eve Hendricks is the mother of 17-year-old Brandon Hendricks Ellison, who died of gun violence on June 28th of 2020.
You heard those stories from the survivors, whether they're still here or they lost loved ones. They're all turning their pain into purpose, and they're here to bring awareness about what happened to their families so that it doesn't happen to others.
We have to run, we have to jog, we have to do any and everything necessary to save our children, to give them the future they deserve.
This is community standing up against gun violence.
State Senator Robert Jackson here joined runners one day after 10 landmark bills were passed in the New York State Legislature to tighten gun laws that would, among other things, raise the age in buying a semi-automatic weapon from 18 to 22.
And there's about 9 other bills that talks about the type of ammunition, micro-stamping of that ammunition.
All this in response to the horrific shootings in Buffalo, New York, and in Uvalde, Texas.
This is a national crisis. We're seeing mass shootings all over.
The Yankee organization also joined the cause, providing all who crossed the finish line with 2 complimentary Yankee tickets, and Carolyn Harrer was among those looking forward to a game while taking a stand against violence.
I grew up in New York City, I grew up in the Bronx, and I very much grew up with the mentality that the only people who have guns are cops and the criminals. So if you're not a police officer and if you're not a criminal, you don't have a gun. Like that's my mentality.
Also there participating award-winning best-selling children's book author Anna Nyakana.
There's no reason our children should be dying in the street. There's no reason why mothers should be shot in the street. There's no reason that there should be senseless killing and crime, right? This is a destructive cycle that's continuing day in, day out, and it's not getting any better.
Also a motivational speaker, she says this is where her focus is.
I'm here to save them by showing them how to save themselves. It's actually all of us collectively as one voice, as a singular voice that brings forth change.
In all, there were over 300 who participated in the event to bring awareness and prevent future harm to communities near and far. For BronxNet, this is Arlene Makoko.
And thank you, Arlene. That is all the time we have for our Bronx updates. We are not out of show. We want you to stay with us as Open continues coming up right after this.